Welcome back guys. I hope that you all are doing fine. So in this video we are going to study about UVM reporting. So as you all know that UVM provides all the classes and functions to generate the message. Functions to generate the message. And here as you all know the messages are mainly like we see information is there, warning is there, error is there, and fatal is there. So if you see in the system verilog, we used to write dollar display, dollar fatal, but what used to happen there is there we don't have any mechanism to control the that which message should be printed. Like suppose in sim.log file, if you run one simulation, that log file will be very huge, and it will become very difficult for us to analyze or to debug. So in order to make it easy, UVM provides us filtering mechanism. We will see how it helps us. So for writing info, like to for displaying the information message, what we have is first we have first argument which we need to pass is a ID. Then second is our message, and the third argument is a verbosity. So I will explain each and everything. So if you see ID is nothing but it's a identifier, like identifier of the message, like from where the message has been printed, identifier of message. And if you and message, and the second argument is a message. And if you look at the verbosity, what is verbosity is like it basically explains uh, or it determines how important the message is, how important the message is. So this is what verbosity is. So I will show this with coding as well, how verbosity plays a role. So there are verbosity levels here, like there is a UVM none, which is the highest priority message, so it should be printed. So it has a weight or value 0. Then we have a UVM low, which has weight 100. Then we have UVM medium, its weight is 200. Then we have UVM high, and its weight is 300. Then we have UVM full, whose weight is 400. And then we have a UVM debug, whose weight is 500. Now suppose how we will do this is like suppose you are writing a display statement in your test case. So here you will pass the ID, suppose for example environment, and in the message what you will write is uh, we are inside environment, like whatever anything you can write, we are inside environment. And in this verbosity you will pass the verbosity level like UVM none. Now what will happen, now since we have passed UVM none, so this is the highest priority UVM none, so now this none will be printed. Now if we this message will definitely be printed. Now if you pass UVM low, then what will happen in your whole test bench, wherever you have written this UVM information statement with this verbosity as a UVM low, it will be printed, as well as the message which is having the verbosity level UVM num, this both will be printed, but not all, or not the messages which are having the highest verbosity level will means the verbosity level medium, high, full, debug, this will not be printed. These messages will not be printed. Now if you provide UVM high, so what will happen, all the messages information you tick UVM info, all the messages having the verbosity no, none, low, and medium, so and high, all this will be printed except this full and debug. If you provide debug, then all the messages will be printed. So this is how the verbosity level plays an important role. Basically, you can control what all messages you want to have in your simulation for debug. So this is how we provide the verbosity level. And then one more thing which you should understand is severity, like how severe the message is, like severity. Now suppose we have UVM information. So what will happen? What this will do is it will display. Basically, it will display the message. Then suppose we have UVM warning. So what it will do? It will also display the message. Okay. And then we have UVM error. So what this will do is this will display display the error, as well as what it will do is it will count the number of errors, and suppose the count reaches some threshold value, then it will exit the simulation. Then it will exit or it will stop the simulation. Then we have UVM fatal. So what will happen here is it will display and then it will exit. So simulation will exit at that time only. So this is how the severity works. So this is one of the important concept you should understand. Then one more important concept which you should understand is message action. Like message action, I will explain you. Now suppose uh, UVM display. UVM display is a action which you have provided. Okay, UVM display is a action which you have provided. So what it will do? It will display the message. Whereas if you pass UVM log, then it will send this message to the file. Basically, it will make a log of that message. Then if you provide UVM count, it will count the like suppose if we have UVM error. So here we have a action as count. So what here it will do is it will count the number of errors, and suppose it reaches some threshold value, then it will terminate the simulation. Then we have UVM exit. So this will directly terminate the simulation as in the case of UVM fatal. So these are the message actions which you should know. And suppose you don't want to do anything, then you can provide no action. Okay, no underscore action. So this is a message action. Now you will say where exactly we need to pass and how exactly we need to pass. So there is a concept called as a like setting the verbosity. So for that we have set report verbosity level, verbosity level, set report verbosity level. So here we pass the verbosity level. So this is an integer verbosity level. So basically what we do is, suppose we have one class, suppose we have one class environment which is extends from UVM underscore environment. So what we will do is we will instantiate this class in our like we will do the instantiation, and we will also assign the memory to it, as you know, in module top and module. And we will do environment whatever name you have given while instantiation. So like environment dot, we will provide this verbosity level here. Like we will set the verbosity level for this environment class. So you can do like this using this method. So how to set, I will show you. Don't worry, we will do an example, so there you will understand. Environment dot we will directly provide the verbosity level for these messages like UVM low. So only the messages which are having the verbosity level UVM low will be will be printed. So this is how this set report verbosity level works. And also there is a one more thing. This is like filtering, like you will filter the message like this. Now there is also one more thing, that is set report. So you have to filter the messages using severity level. severity level. So here you have to pass the severity, and also the second argument is the action, like what actions you want it to take place. Like suppose we will do same thing, environment dot, now in the environment class whatever the messages are there, how we want to filter those messages, uh, we will we will provide the severity. So what is the severity? Suppose for messages such as UVM suppose information. Okay, for the messages having the severity information. So what we will do is, what the action you want to take place. Suppose you want to exit whenever the information UVM tick UVM info is printed, like whenever the message is printed for tick UVM info. So you want to exit. So you can pass the action here. So this is how you can filter. But basically we don't provide this UVM exit here. So you have to basically you have to do no action here, because you have to display. Sorry, you have to provide UVM display, not no action. UVM display. Okay, so what is the work of UVM info is to display the messages. So this is how you can control. This is basically used to control our filtering, like how you can filter all the messages. This basically improves the debug quality. Like it will become very easy for you to debug any type of code, or if you are facing any issue. So it will be very easy. So let's start with example. So yeah, first what you need to do is, whenever you write in UVM, whenever you start writing your code in UVM, first you have to include the UVM macros dot svh. Okay, then what you need to do is you have to import the packages. The import package is UVM package star. Okay, then what you need to do is, now this is the initial step. Now we will create one class test. It will extend from UVM test. Okay, this is a inbuilt, it is present inside UVM. Then what you will do is, you will do factory registration. Don't worry, I will explain this you in further videos. Tick UVM component utils. There you will do a factory registration here, that is the class name test. And then what you will do is, you will create one function new, and you know, right, in function new we use a string name. There will be name, and UVM component is parent. UVM component parent. Then here we do super dot new name slash parent. Okay, and now we will provide our info statement here. Take UVM info. What we will give the tag? Initially we will write new. So because we are inside new, no, we will provide the class here. What is the class name? It's a test, so we'll provide test. And then also we will provide uh, inside new. Inside new, and then we will provide the severity level. Sorry, verbosity level. So verbosity level, suppose we keep UVM low. Okay, and let's write end function and end class. Okay, so now we are good to go. And in module top, and module, then we will run initial, begin, and end. Inside this we will run test. So we will call this run underscore test, and we will provide the name test. So let's see whether this works or not. First we will do we will write this simple code, and then we will extend. So I will go to EDA playground now. So this is a EDA playground. I will paste my code here, and I will select the language as UVM 1.2 and the simulator as LDEC Pro, and let's run and see. So let's see wickets. We should get this inside new message basically. Yeah, now if you see, see, this is inside new. So we have got our message that is inside new. And what is the ID? Test. Okay. So this is how you can do. And also, yeah, I will explain one more thing. And what we will do is, now we will see how we can display this UVM error and UVM fatal, how we can see. Okay, let's see. We will write one task, virtual task. Actually, basically you have to use your run phase. I will explain all the this concept in phases video. So just remember, you have to use a run phase, because in run phase, whatever you are writing for more than zero simulation time, so you have to write in a run phase. So sorry, not end function, this is end task. So here you declare one variable. Let's give it value as 5. We will run one for loop. We will run 5 times, begin end. And inside this, what we will do is, suppose if the value of a is equal to 2, then we will print one warning. Maybe we can write like this: warning id, right? Id, you can give the messages from test, right? So you can give test, and you can give the warning value is 2. Okay. And one more thing I wanted to tell you guys is that in warning, you don't need to provide the verbosity, because verbosity here is by default, it is UVM low or UVM none. Sorry, UVM none. So you don't need to provide the verbosity here on, and even if you want to provide, you can provide, but there is no need. But in case of UVM information, you have to provide, and else what we will do is, we will print UVM fatal. Let's see how the fatal works. Test, and fatal error value is greater than 2. Okay, so I think we are good to go. Yeah, one more thing, we have to increment the value as well. So let's see if we face any issue. See, if you see, we have got one fatal, and see, UVM test of fatal value is greater than 2. But and also we have got inside new. Let's see why we haven't got uh, the warning, why we haven't got the warning. So basically, if we see why we have not got the warning, so Yeah, because if you see the loop starts from here and yeah, our value is 5, right? So we will never get. Yeah, sorry. If the value is 5, how we will get? Correct. So we will put our value as 2. So we have to get the error. Oh, sorry, warning. Yeah, now if you see, we have got the warning as well as a fatal. So if you see, warning is value is 2 and fatal error is value is greater than 2. So this is how you can make use of reporting mechanisms, that is information, warning, fatal, and also error also you can do. Let's see, instead of so I was going to explain you some concept here. Anyways, we will instead of fatal, we will provide error. So error will not terminate the simulation. The simulation will keep on going. So this loop will be continuing, but in case of fatal, it will exit the simulation. Yeah, so if you see here, we are continuously getting that fatal error value is greater than 2, greater than 2, greater than 2. Uh, okay, sorry. So this was not a fatal error, so this was error, and we are continuously getting this because in it this else statement is continuously getting printed. Okay, repeated. So that's why we are getting this fatal error. So the concept is clear, right? So we have a UVM information, we have a warning, we have a fatal, we have a error. So you have to just understand how to make use of this and how you can control the verbosity level. So now coming to this, let's set it as none. No, let's set it as debug, and let's provide UVM. I think how to control the verbosity is we have to provide UVM verbosity equal to UVM. Suppose we provide medium. Okay. So this message should not be printed. UVM that is inside new. This message should not be printed. Let's see. Oh, we are getting one error, that is UVM verbosity equal to UVM medium. So it's why it's not taking equal to UVM medium. Yeah, let's give some space. Yeah, now if you see this inside, yeah, now if you see that message is not been printed before this, the message will be printed, that is inside new. So this is not printed. So this is how verbosity plays an important role here. And one more thing I wanted to tell you is this, in case of ID, what you can do is, so here in case of ID, you have to you have three types. So you can directly provide like this. Okay, you are from class test, or there is one more thing in UVM, that is a inbuilt function is there. So you can provide get full name, get full name. So basically it will provide full hierarchy, then get type name. So this will provide only the name of your class. Okay, and also there is a get name. So this will provide only the name of your class, and get type name. Let's try this and see. So instead of this, we will do get full name. Now let's change this Okay, let's change this verbosity to none so that it will print it. And let's observe what all difference we are seeing with get full name. Yeah, now if you see with the get full name, we are getting this message. Okay, let's store here. Let's see the difference. Okay, we got this using get full name. Yeah, so we got this using get full name. Then let's try with get type name. What is happening? Get type name, and let's run this. So you can make use of this because every time you cannot provide this test means whichever class ID. So it will not be relevant every time you provide. So instead of that, make use of this. Let's observe the changes which we are getting. Yeah, so here if you see what we are getting is no here, right? So we are getting this. So here get type name. So in get type name, our class name is not been printed. So it's top only UVM test top. Okay. And let's observe in case of name, get name. Yeah. So if you see in the case of get name, what we are getting is yeah, we are getting get test top. Yeah, so it's similar to what we got in UVM full name. We will get a more clarity on this when we will write a whole test bench, and because there what will happen, the whole hierarchy will be created like agent, then inside agent we have sequencer driver monitor, then inside top we have environment. So there will be a hierarchy, right? Environment, agent, sequencer, driver, monitor. So inside that we will again do this experiment of providing the ID. Let's see what we get. So I think you all are clear with the reporting for today, right? UVM reporting, how you can make use of UVM reporting in your UVM best test benches, how you can right, how you can filter the messages whichever have high priority messages that should get printed, how you can control the flow, how you can understand means how you can filter the messages using this report verbosity level. So we will see this as well whenever we create a whole test bench, and we will in that case what we will do is for particular class we will filter the messages using this verbosity level as well as the severity level, and we will see how it behaves. So thank you guys. That's it for today. So meet you in the next session. And I hope that you are liking our videos. So do share and subscribe, and also comment and let me know what all new topics you want. Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye bye.